All right, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, Connor on Chain. So in this video, I want to talk about decentralized physical AI, or robotics within crypto. I want to cover this narrative again, give you guys a rundown of what it is, a little bit about why I'm bullish on it, things I'm looking at within this narrative, and then at the end we'll cover a few altcoins. So let's get to it. So shout out to Dylan Bain. He has been an advocate of this narrative for a while now as well. And he covers a lot of good stuff in this thread. So this will show you guys a little bit again of what it is. So decentralized physical AI offers an alternative to centralized control of robots and the physical AI infra stack. So like I said, these are some projects here. We will come back to that in a minute. But this here, the ChatGPT moment for robotics is just around the corner. I 100% agree with that. I actually think that the ChatGPT moment for robotics is going to be humanoids. I think once, whether it's Tesla announcing their Optimus fully ready to be released to the public, or one of these other ones, I think humanoids are going to be one of the major sparks for robotics within, not even just crypto, but just outside of crypto in regular legacy markets, within stocks, and it is going to become huge. It's kind of like the momentum right now is just riding, and once this stuff finally releases, once people start to see that this is real, it's just going to take off instantly. Firmly believe that, and that is coming, I think, within the next few months to maybe a year from now. So it's not that long, not that far off. But the digital age began with hardware and progressed to the intangible world of software. Now it's now faces the physical world as its final frontier. Because this is a great sheet slash, something to show you guys. This is the founder and CEO of NVIDIA. This was many months ago now. Just talking about the future of where this stuff is going. And currently, especially within crypto, we're kind of sitting within this agentic AI as well, still. You kind of just look at what is hot in the market, what has been pumping. Mainly it's been AI agents, right? But he's basically telling you what is next. Where is the next rendition of this, right? I mean, it's self-driving cars and general robotics. So in a world of robots, cars, drones, and androids, ran by autonomous physical AI agents displacing the workforce, the question of who owns these machines is a core societal concern. Decentralized physical AI offers a chance to establish Web3 physical AI before centralized players are entrenched. So this is a little bit about the physical AI infrastack. I think a lot of it too, which is interesting, it really just takes from, non-physical AI infrastacks in every single way. You still got storage, you still got all these LLMs doing different interactions, all these data sets, aggregation rather. Excuse me. Machine coordination network too is something that is going to be new. Spatial intelligence, lots of interesting stuff there. Real world data is a major bottleneck, which is actually something I will bring up in a minute as well. Real world data is a major bottleneck for training physical AI, while NVIDIA's Omniverse and Cosmos offer a promising way forward through simulated environments. Synthetic data is just one piece of the puzzle. Teleoperation and real-world video data will also be required. It's pretty interesting as well. And they're talking about Frodobots here, which is, to me, it's going to be a very interesting project if and when they launch their token. But we'll cover that in a little while as well. But the thing with physical AI here too, it is very much so part of the DPIN space. I look at it in my personal view. I think DPIN in and of itself is this huge pool of all these different things. And I look at robotics within crypto or this physical AI based AI infrastructure as one part of DPIN. But like I said, you can also consider it like its own separate narrative too. But many projects within this narrative are DPIN as well. We got HiveMapper and Nadix, which they leverage real-world video data to train physical AI and construct a shared spatial understanding of the world, which this is huge. I think these are going to be some of the future major blue chip DPIN projects, some that focus within this sector as well. A little bit more, I guess, too, something I really like. As many of you guys know on this channel, I'm a huge advocate of is Alki network. Spatial intelligence and compute protocols are also working to decentralize control of spatial coordination and 3D virtual twins of the real world using DPIN and DEP AI. So Alki's pose mesh enables real-time spatial awareness while preserving privacy and decentralization. Alki, like I said, in my opinion, is a major player within robotics. Another one too, Sam is moving. This was actually kind of part of Frodobots that we mentioned above. And yeah, I guess he does a few projects here, but a lot of this stuff is very interesting. And like I said, we got a ton of humanoids that are likely going to be coming out at some point. I think some of the biggest ones easily will be Tesla. I think Unitree is massive. Figure will be massive. Boston Dynamics. And even Agility. And there are so many more. And this is just within humanoids. I think those are some of the top ones, though, 100%. But that is going to spark a major move within the market, or all markets, rather. So why don't we cover... Actually, before we get into projects, so this here, too, I wanted to give you guys a little rundown of some of the bottlenecks within the robotics sector at the moment, and just some issues and problems that I think are arising or will arise in the future. So I forget what the prompt that I asked was, but this was mainly, like I said, the bottlenecks within this industry, some major issues or problems that could come up. Virtual data versus real world experience. AI models are mostly trained on internet data, not hands-on physical experiences, because when you got robots, they have actual sensors, they got hands, and they have all these different physical parts, but actual AI models and data is not really trained on that yet. That is something, or even just one little thing, that is where major issues can come up, but also that's where a lot of opportunity is. You got real world environments are unpredictable, which that's something too that I feel like in many ways, in many cases, oftentimes robots, they can't really ignore that, because unlike the clean inputs of digital tasks, physical environments constantly change, lighting, object positions, blah blah blah. Small physical variations can cause big failures. And like I was saying, I think in many ways, robots within the next 5 to 10 years, as they're trained and they get better, things like that I think will still happen, because no matter what, I don't know how prepared a human can be for something. Same thing if for a robot. Things sometimes within our world will happen that can cause an issue or a problem. And especially for a robot, let's say in the workforce, trying to do tasks day to day. I still think there will be problems that come up, but I think for the time being, it's going to be how can they optimize it the best possible way. So that is something that is going to be worked on for a while. Limited physical task data. This kind of goes up here with the same idea. There's just not too much data to actually be trained for physical tasks, if you want to put it. The lack of scale makes it hard for robots to generalize across tasks or adapt to new settings. AI and robot systems don't communicate smoothly. AI models and robot hardware often operate separately, which this is huge, and I'll cover a project that is kind of working on this, making real-time coordination difficult. Connecting intelligent decision-making with physical executions is still a major engineering challenge. Poor generalization to new situations. And robotic hands and sensors are nowhere near as sensitive or adaptable as human ones. So even like materials and stuff with robotics, over time I think they're going to fine-tune it, try to find different and better materials, things like that. There's a lot of different things that go into robotics that I just don't think a lot of people are thinking about, and the thing is too, within crypto, I don't think you're going to have like 10 different crypto projects launching, the next figure robotics company, trying to make 10,000 humanoids or anything like that. So I think on the crypto side, it's going to be a lot of software based stuff like Alki with the pose mesh and their physical AI, their spatial AI. And also, like I said, I'll cover a project that works exactly on where was it? Right here. That AI to robotics system coordination. A lot of the stuff within crypto is going to be the software side of things, in my opinion. So let's cover a few altcoins now. Also, I'd figure AI up. So we got Peak. So Peak, I do think is probably one of the blue chip physical AI or decentralized physical AI projects within the space. I think there's a lot of good, very minimal bad with it. I think fundamentals very strong. I mean, we can go to Peak. They have incredible partnerships, but they're building DPINs for energy, mobility, connectivity, and more. They have a lot of different stuff going on, and they're building just the layer one for physical connection, if you would. I mean, that's kind of a very broad statement of it, but they already have a lot of projects that are being built on this. It is, like I said, it is a layer one. Chart is very down. It looks like a potential entry, but Peak is one to pay attention to. Like I said, you don't even have to be buying it. I do not hold Peak at the moment, but it is one that you at least need to know about. I make these videos. These are not videos for you guys to just say, oh my God, Connor just called 8 coins. Let me buy all of them. Most of these I am not holding. I will tell you guys if I'm holding them, but a lot of these videos are for research purposes. I love to do this research and give everyone a broad overview of what I'm paying attention to, right? But Peak, like I said, I think this is definitely a blue chip within this narrative, where if the narrative took off, this likely will get a lot of traction as one of the blue chip layer ones within this. And they have an entire ecosystem as well with a lot of projects being built. I'm not really going to go into it, but we got, Ex Machina, we got Silencio, Tenio, I mean, a few other of these too. Huge ecosystem though. Probably the biggest within this narrative. Even Nadix too. Nadix, which I covered, which was in the other thread as well. Nadix is another interesting one. I don't even need to cover too much about it. We'll just scroll to this. Nadix and also HiveMapper. They leverage real world video data to train physical AI, construct a shared spatial understanding of the world. I love the way that it's put. It's so simple, and it tells you exactly what that is. But another one too is, this is something I don't think is on many people's radar, but I've been watching this one for a little while now, is Reborn AGI. This is a project that they do not have a token yet. I think they will in the future. I don't know if they're fully focused on it at the moment. But when I said projects that are focusing on these bottlenecks are things that I'm heavily watching. And Reborn AGI here, they are aiming to build very good communication systems between AI models and AI today with, all these physical operating systems. Because at the moment, that is a huge issue within robotics right now. And that's what they want to build. But pretty interesting. It seems like their team, they've been building stuff for a while. Something major as well is they actually have partnered with Unitree Robotics. I don't know. I think they took Unitree took down their tweet though a little while ago, as in I think like couple weeks ago. I don't know why. But as part of the partnership, we're excited to announce that Unitree is deploying Roboverse as the infrastructure to develop robot policies efficiently. Roboverse deployments. Unitree is deploying Roboverse, our comprehensive framework that combines a simulation platform, data sets, and unified benchmarks to optimize robot learning. It supports multiple simulators, robotic embodiments, enabling seamless transitions between different environments. And that's a huge thing as well, is like simulated environments, stuff like that. We even got NVIDIA Isaac Sim. It's a reference application built on their Omniverse that enables developers to simulate and test AI-driven robotics solutions in physically based virtual environments. There's a lot of the testing within all of these physical infrastructure networks. They're going to need a lot of simulation as well, before they just go straight to testing it out in the real world on a robot or something like that. So to me, this is a lot of, there is a lot to take in within this narrative, but I think over time it's going to become more and more apparent, and a lot of projects are just going to become more, it's just going to be a lot more apparent to see which projects are truly killing it within this narrative. But at the moment, it's still, like I said, I think it's very under the radar, but it's something everyone should be watching. And like I said, some of my favorites, I think Peak is a great one. I don't hold it. Elky, I do hold. And I mean, even looking here, it's like these are some of them. Nadix, like I said, Rover, Protobus, which doesn't have a token yet, Elky, Peak, and I mean, there's a few more too here, all with different use cases as well. But outside of that, that is what I wanted to cover mainly for this video, guys. I really think people need to continue to watch this narrative, even if it is something that is not moving. But another reason why too that I wanted to bring this up is we actually started to see a virtuals agent, Vita Nova here, start to move like crazy. And sometimes, I'm not saying that this is going to be the catalyst, but oftentimes in the market is when you see one specific coin, doesn't matter the market cap, one coin within a narrative that is not a narrative yet. Oftentimes this is going to lead to a lot of speculation for other people to start aping into something else within the same narrative. I'm not going to cover Vita Nova here, but like I said, that's what I wanted to cover today is robotics within crypto. I think it is going to be a major narrative at some point, especially to outside of crypto. I had a tweet up. I don't know where I put it, but it was about, I took it down. But it's talking about, I think, the founder of ARK Invests, Kathy Wood. She was putting a crazy target on Tesla. I mean like thousands of dollars priced in for Tesla because of robotics and what robotics is going to bring and do for the company over time. I think a lot of robotics-based companies over the next decade are going to have unbelievable gains and major returns if you were getting into them, because I think the scale of these manufacturing and just robotics in general, once they are out, depending on use case, if it's for industrial stuff, if it's for general home purposes, for cleaning, for any sort of ride share, cars, there's tons of different stuff in robotics, but I think the manufacturing and those companies within that are building them are going to have massive valuations that I just don't think people actually understand or even see right now. So bottom line, focus on robotics, whether it's inside or outside of crypto. Huge narrative. I think this is going to be the next major wave, whether it's in 6 months, 12 months, 2 days, even maybe longer than a year. I think it's going to be huge. So that's what I wanted to cover today. I appreciate it, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks.